Did you have a question, Drew?
Well, I was going to ask, like, does a couple sentences in a government or history textbook count as a runner-up prize?
You mean like the fact that somebody's remembering that you were a candidate, like you weren't completely forgotten or something like that? Oh, I guess maybe. Not in a consolation prize in the sense that we're talking about, though. Okay? As you'll see here in just a second what I'm talking about. Okay? All right, now let's look at a little bit more realistic scenario. When I say realistic, I mean something that's more likely to play out in the American system. Because in the American system, we rarely get a circumstance where a third-party candidate, or what we call minor party candidates, get as much as 25% of the vote. That's just never going to happen, right? And under the best circumstances for third-party candidates, right? Most of the time, they're getting 2% or less, even 1% or less of the vote, right? So even that may be a little bit exaggerated. But again, given this hypothetical, who wins? Yeah, again, the candidate for Party A. And again, still didn't get a majority. Getting closer, right? But still didn't get a majority. Got a plurality, yet wins 100% of the seat. That's the point that I really want you to think about. And keep in mind that it's a winner-take-all system. There's no way to divvy up this seat or whatever this elective office is on the basis of coming in a close second or a close third. You either win or you lose. Okay? Now let's see how that plays out. We're trying to get here to this some understanding of how that promotes a dominant two-party system. Well, I tell you what, before I move on, anybody have any thoughts about that? Why would this promote the question there says, why does this arrangement promote a dominant two-party system? Or if you want to think about it from the other direction, why does it discourage multi-partyism? Remember the timeline that I showed you of all those political parties, those minor parties, and most of them just kind of pop up and then they disappear almost as soon as they pop up? There's a really good reason for that in American politics.
Those two are the two that we have are the longest coming, and say there was a third party that started when those other did, then it might be a three-party system, but because it didn't, the other two have just been there longer.
Well, but it sounds like you're getting back to this. You're getting back to that explanation that says it's about the history. I'm not telling you that history has nothing to do with it whatsoever, but I think for the purpose of understanding the point that we're making here, it's not a big enough piece of the explanation to just like dualism. Well, let's go back. Let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go back to the 1990s. That wasn't terribly long ago, but it was long enough ago that it sounds like ancient history to you because you weren't around. Okay, but in the 1990s. I had a student in one of my classes back then who loved to come and visit with me before class or after class, would follow me from one building to another and want to talk about stuff. And he was really jazzed up about this new political party that was on the scene in the 1990s called the Reform Party. It had organized after the 1992 presidential election largely around the candidacy of Ross Perot, who I mentioned to you in a previous class meeting, had run for president in 1992 and actually had done very well. But a new political party sprang up, largely as a result of that. And a lot of people were jumping on board, disaffected Democrats, disaffected Republicans, people who were generally had the view, as many Americans do, that what's wrong with our system is that you have two corrupt political parties that aren't interested in really governing, they're just interested in power. There's a lot of Americans who have that view, right? So you have this new party that calls itself the Reform Party. Boy, if Americans aren't in love with reform, they're not in love with anything. All you got to do to appeal to people is call yourself Reform, and some people are gonna jump on board. You could not even it could be that many of those people don't even know what reforms you're calling for. They're just like, hey, reform.